I'm back. Another stream. How's it going, folks? How's everyone doing? Probably the right direction. Gonna wait a second for people to trickle in. For those of you watching after the fact, just skip ahead a couple minutes. It's a lot easier than complaining. And boom. To address your concern, Repo Man, I had to use a mob so you could post a link originally, and then forgot to remove the those mod abilities. But I went back and corrected that. It's going well. It's going pretty decently. I didn't really have a topic for stream today, so I figured, hey, why don't we talk about my most recent video, because a lot of you seem to have liked it. I do want to say that I am planning on sort of starting to move away from the Jeremy DeWitt stuff back to my more normal, I say normal, the videos I sort of did more predominantly prior to Jeremy DeWitt's emergence from the depths of Florida. I will go back once the trial happens, once we start getting any real information. I'm sure I'll make more videos on him to give updates on that. But I mean, at this point, we're just all the people involved in discussing Jeremy DeWitt are kind of just rehashing the same information in different ways, because there isn't much that's new. It's a whole good thing. Anyway, yeah. So, what do we think about the video of the Jeremy DeWitt musical? Been planning that one for a while. Do we have any oath-breaking pigs in here, Patrick? Just addressing the chat. Patrick says oath-breaking pigs will not be tolerated, which is has no relevance to anything in this stream. J. Pavilion, was good to be out in the real world. I was concerned. Someone asked me, like, I'm in Washington State. Like, isn't Washington State locked down? There is a stay-at-home order, but you're allowed to sort of like go out for walks for a little bit as long as you stay away from people, and I consider that part of my walk. And if anyone had issues with that, I would have packed up and gone home, but no one seemed to. I stayed in areas that were very infrequently traveled. Nowhere that I filmed any of this was somewhere where I was at risk or anyone was at risk for transmitting the coronavirus. So I had a good defense. It wasn't foolproof. But for those of you who are in Washington State, there are people going out for runs. There are people walking their dogs. It sounds a lot scarier than it is. And I have family members like, oh my God, Washington State locked down. Like, you must be losing your mind. It's like, well, actually, it's not. It's really not as locked down as people make it seem. Patrick's in here again, being completely irrelevant, but I feel like I might as well address it. He says, you see the other pig telling the rest of you pigs to straighten up and fly right. He doesn't want to get killed because of you awful, terrible pigs. I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. This is probably not the place to discuss it. This is not the stream to discuss that. But feel free to email me at sergeantbluebacon@gmail.com. We can discuss it. Or comment on my YouTube page if you want it to be a more public discussion. He says the Constitution cannot be suspended. F your orders. That is not a law. You are a lawman or an orderman, stupid pig. Oh, this is fun. Patrick, you want to join us in the? You can call in and we can discuss this. But yes, the Constitution, the stay-at-home orders are lawful. I'm sorry you feel otherwise. I encourage you to obey any stay-at-home orders you have been issued. Otherwise, there will be likely legal consequences. But yeah, so Jay Pavilion beat me to the musical. Shame on you, Jay Pavilion. And you can suck that sweet teat of musical goodness from my. I'm just kidding. Your stuff was great. I loved your stuff. Poor Jeremy. Anyway, you guys want to talk about the actual video? It's the Rona. I've got the Rona. I've been outside for too long. Because I've been trying to figure out how to get I'm trying to get my unaired footage to play, and it's not working on my stream. For whatever reason. But oh, Patrick's back. America is losing its liberties and economy because of chicken S. Worried about a virus. Effing idiots took our country down with fear. Proud of yourselves. Well, you see, Patrick, people are dying. And in order to prevent people from dying, because American citizens are not capable of taking it upon themselves to act in a manner that ensures the safety of others, local governing bodies have taken the initiative to enforce certain rules to protect the health and safety of the citizens of the United States in, as far as I can tell, a lawful manner. If you disagree with that, you can petition the government for a redress of grievances. However, I encourage you not to just go out and disobey these orders, because in my state, doing so I think can be punished up to a gross misdemeanor, which is not insignificant. I don't know how it is for you, Patrick. But there we go. It's a bit off topic, Patrick, if we could stay on topic. Next video should be a rock song. Well, actually, I think my next video is going to be a... I don't know if you guys know the song Convoy by C.W. McCall. I don't know if he was the original person who wrote it. I don't know. But that's who I associate with the song. And I've been writing lyrics to make a sovereign citizen spoof. We have a right to travel. It's going to be great. So it establishes, like, here's my sovereign citizen views, and here's the facts that dispute it that I'm going to ignore. It's great. It's a good time. I think that's going to be next. Once the Jeremy DeWitt stuff is over, once the trial is concluded, I might make a second video. Some of you have suggested some incredible musical ideas. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and I don't want to make it a every video is a musical type thing. I definitely, if it continues to be well received, I'll continue doing them because I had a lot of fun doing them. Patrick, yes, you can order people to stay at home. Anyway, a lot of work, a lot of time. I definitely had a lot of fun doing it. I'd like to do it again, especially since you guys seem to have liked it. If you guys didn't like it, I'd be like, all right, cool, it was a nice try. Not doing it again. But since it's people like to dislike ratio is pretty good. Yeah, I think we can see another one in the future. And some of you have suggested some great songs, like, oh, do one about throwing chairs. Do one with choruses of Sergeant in the background, which absolutely is a great idea, and I intend to use that idea. So thank you. I do listen to you folks. Just some great examples or ideas. So I don't think that's going to be the last Jeremy DeWitt song that I create, but we'll see. If I do too many of them, they stop being special, right? Okay, Patrick. Okay. Do you want to call in? Do you want to call in to discuss it, Patrick? Is that what you want? I'll let you call in. Do you want me to do a different stream where you can call in, we can talk about it? Because this is not the stream for this. We're doing the behind the scenes of the Jeremy DeWitt music video. Okay, or musical, technically in the title there. But I'd be happy to discuss it on a stream, okay? Well, I'm going to keep showing your stuff because it's hilarious. Okay. Don't go outside. You might get someone sick, okay? I'm worried about you, Patrick. Okay? Anyway. We can discuss this on a stream, Patrick. This is not your first time doing this. I'd be happy to discuss it with you. Otherwise, how about we talk about things relevant to this? It's a live stream. I can do what I want. But, do I think JBS might show up? Oh, folks, JBS. I told him I wasn't going to make a video about him. I'm not. JBS is some guy in my comment section. So my last stream, I was slurping on that can of the energy drink. And I was being a little ridiculous. Like, I'm intentionally, like, doing it from the side of my mouth just for my own entertainment. Because I'm watching. I can see myself in the stream. And I like to have fun as much as I like to make sure you guys are having fun. And I don't take myself too terribly seriously. So I was just having fun, like, you know, oh, yeah, let me talk about this. Drinking from whatever. He was upset about that. And he goes, how about you stop, you know, you take a second to breathe before you sip. You slurp, sip, slurp, breathe, man. And someone else was like, hey, man, don't be a dick about it. You know, whatever. And this JBS guy just, like, lost his mind. And I was like, I'm sorry you feel that way. And he went off on me. Like, you can't take criticism. And so I've just been sort of I don't want to say messing with him. It's sort of like a cat and mouse game where I just go, oh, tell me more. Like, oh, insult me more, dude. Like, I'm not upset. Tell me what you have to say. And he's just losing his mind. It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Not that I'm intentionally antagonizing him. I kind of am at this point. But at this point, we're just trying to get him to be able to comment without insulting anyone, which he seems unable to do. I hope he shows up, because I will address him directly. Oh, Patrick, no victim, no crime. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You know that that's not a true statement, right? I know we're off topic, but this is classic sovereign citizen arguments, the no victim, no crime. And not saying Patrick's a sovereign citizen, but I can't just not address that. You're a cop watcher and civil rights auditor. Well, you might actually want to learn the law a little bit before you start calling people out on it, okay? Because you're not right. If you're going to go around saying no victim, no crime, that's significantly wrong. So if you're going to go out there and watch cops, at least know what you're doing, please. Thank you. I feel like Patrick might be a Freeman. I'm not going to assign any labels without knowing more about him, but I don't know. Patrick, you can tell people to stay at home. I don't know what to tell you. Once the governor declares a state of emergency, there's a lot of stuff they can do in the interest of the health and safety of the American people. Wow, we're off topic. But, yeah, if you start shooting people because of this, you will either go to jail or die. Those are your options. Don't shoot people. Okay, Patrick. Okay. Do you want to call in or not? I mean, I can just mute you. No, Jeremy has not messaged me. I messaged him, oh man, right before I released the video. This Facebook page, this Housing Association Security Facebook page, which it's a joke. I mean, they look, I don't know, the whole thing is like a fake page for, I don't know what their purpose is, but they wrote an obituary for Jeremy. And like, oh, he's dead. He was found dead. He missed a court date. And in my Discord, someone's like, oh my God, Jeremy is dead. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, first of all, I don't want him to be dead. Second, I worked so hard in this music video. I can't make a video poking fun at the situation if he's killed himself, right? It was very upsetting for many, many reasons. One, for selfish reasons. Two, because I don't want the guy to commit suicide. I don't want anyone to commit suicide. It turns out he didn't, and we were in the Discord, like, breaking it apart, like, this doesn't make sense, this information is wrong, this can't be real, and, like, I messaged Jeremy, like, is this true? Obviously, if it was, he wouldn't be messaging me back. He still hasn't, but we contacted some other people who knew him, and they're like, no, he's fine, I just saw him today, so on and so forth. But he's, I don't know, it was a little worrisome, and for those of you who think I'm on his side, I'm not on anyone's side. I'm not going to say that he's breaking the law. My professional opinion is that he broke the law, and I think he will be punished for it. Does that mean I can't give him help when requested? I'll give anyone help that requested. If anyone comes to me and says, hey, tell me about this law and how I don't break it, I will tell you. You guys know how I feel about James Freeman, right? Don't like the guy. But if he came to me and said, I want to do a First Amendment audit correctly, I'd be more than happy to help him. Jeremy DeWitt has asked me, how do I do this correctly? Well, he hasn't really asked. He hasn't asked directly, but the way we've talked off camera, advice has been given. There has been communication about that. If anyone asks me for help, I will try to help them as long as the request is reasonable and I am able to provide that help. He is not receiving my emails for some reason. He might have blocked me and not realized it. He sent me emails like, why haven't I heard from you? And I'm like, I'm trying to. I've had other people contact him like, look, dude, I'm trying to email you. Why aren't you getting my stuff? But it's a whole thing. So, sorry, catching up on comments. Yeah, he's not contacted me. APR is not I do want to know APR things, because APR and I do stay in communication. I check up on him and the company. I don't want the company to fail, folks. I don't want it to continue operating as it was, and there's evidence that they are fixing themselves. And I know, yeah, I showed the video, the Future of Metro State stream, where we saw him doing good things. And yes, I acknowledge that it is edited. There might be stuff cut out that is bad. But what it tells us is that APR knows what is good, right? And at least he is aware of what is good and what he can do, right? Regardless if that's what he's doing, he knows. And that's an important step to actually running the company correctly. Or doing that. I don't know about running. I don't think he's running it, but I can't make up an issue that I don't see. I can acknowledge that there might be one, but I'm not going to make up an issue. And I encourage you all not to make up issues like that either. So, yeah, APR and I talked about that. I'm like, look, man, don't engage the trolls. I engage the trolls because it amuses me. No sane person should engage the trolls. There's a lot of trolling on his page. And APR is trying to do the right thing. And he's upset that people are still going after him. And I get it. I get both sides. I really do. I'm not the kind of person that finds much joy in attacking someone. I'll engage them, but I don't like attacking them. And he's trying to do the right thing. And we've talked a lot about, here's what you should do for this. Here's what you should do for that. Here's what will get the police off your back about this. And he's been very, very receptive to it. And it's been great. That's all I really want is for them to stop breaking the law. Now, the punishment for them breaking the law, that's not on me. I don't have any involvement in that. I can comment on what I believe will happen. But where I can help is advising them how not to break the law. Unofficial advice. But he's been very, very receptive to that, which is one of the reasons I'm taking a defensive stance towards him. Is I just want to help. I became a police officer to help people. And now that I no longer am directly involved in law enforcement, that doesn't mean I can't stop being involved in that and helping people out. Oh, Patrick's a constitutionalist, by the way, which is just a fancy word for sovereign citizen who doesn't believe they're a sovereign citizen, because sovereign and citizen can't go together. But hey, it was the sovereign citizens that came up with their own names. So, no, Patrick, I know the difference between a sovereign citizen and a constitutionalist. There's not much difference, but there is a slight difference. Sovereign citizens, you can trace their history directly from late 40s, early 50s to the Church of Jesus Christ Christian, whereas constitutionalists are kind of their own thing. But they use the same argument, so it's not unreasonable to sort of put them in the same category. Police are not sovereign citizens, by the way. That is one of the stupidest arguments that someone can make within the sovereign citizen movement. I'd be happy to discuss that. I do encourage you guys not to be insulting each other, though we're trying to keep it civil. All right, let's check out this whole video here. There are a few things I want to talk to you guys about, just for funsies, because I know we're 20 minutes in, and we still haven't really even started to discuss anything. All right, let me pull this up here. All right, the Jeremy DeWitt music video. I'm talking to myself. Don't mind me. Where was I? Hold on, folks. We're doing this. We're doing this live. I called. Can I be a mod, please? Wants to be a mod. No. Let's see. Window capture. Video. I thought I had this set up. And, oh, all right. Well, that's a thing. Don't mind me, folks. Oh, thanks, True Discord. Where was I? You guys are crazy. The chat is just... I'm going to... Chat, you do your thing. All right. Shkablamo. Hey, that's my face right there. Okay, boomer. I'm not a boomer, but... Patrick doesn't want to call in, by the way, because I think he's scared of learning something. We should all be ashamed of ourselves, though, he says. The guy who's getting the law wrong says we should be ashamed of ourselves. Okay. But thank you, Patrick. Now, if you want to call in, I'd be more than happy to discuss this with you. If there's anything you want to discuss, we can do that live. If you're not scared to do it live. It's a lot easier to do it from behind a keyboard where you can sort of take your time and do whatever. But I'm a big fan of just going live, seeing what happens. But if you don't want to do that, if that's beyond your debating abilities, I'm not saying you're a bad debater. It's just it is difficult to do it live. I get it. If that's not something that you're experienced in, a direct face-to-face confrontation, I get it. I'd love to talk to you directly. We all need to read the Declaration of Independence, folks. I've read the Declaration of Independence. I don't really know how that says that the governor can't just declare a state of emergency and require people to limit their exposure to the outdoors as much as possible in the interest of keeping people from dying. But, okay. That's right, true Discord. Wait. Anyway. Is Patrick's YouTube bio member in good standing of the cannabis community? Yeah, I live in Washington. I can't complain about that. I don't use drugs. But believing we should do our best to keep litter off our streets and stop police brutality. I'm all for stopping police brutality. I think that's a great idea. But, you got to know what is and is not police brutality. Don't worry, I'm going to be talking about that. That's the direction my channel will be going in, discussing what is or is not police brutality. Because I have a lot of training on what I can and can't do, or could not do, back when I was law enforcement. So I'm pretty familiar. Each state is slightly different. What they allow, for example, New York State, you're allowed to just punch people. There are obviously rules to when you can punch people. And I was allowed to use strikes, but I don't think it was ever written down anywhere. New York has here's our policy in writing. Very fun. No, Devil 93, he's talking about, I thought so too at first, but when he says Declaration of Independence, that is correct in reference to what he's saying. He's saying that, Declaration of Independence shows that we left a corrupt government. And now here we are with a corrupt government again, is his argument, I believe. Okay. There's corruption everywhere. I'm not saying that we shouldn't disagree with the government, but don't go out shooting people because you're mad that you can't get a haircut. I'm mad I can't get a haircut, but you don't see me being like, let's get some guns, let's go to the state house and protest. No, I'm going to wait it out so that the people in my neighborhood don't die, right? I'm a responsible human being, and I will sacrifice my personal comforts to ensure the safety of the people around me. I'm happy to do that, to commit a relatively selfless act. Do you not want people to be safe? Do you not care about other people's health and safety? Because, Patrick, that is not a strong stance to take. I'm just... I need a weed eater for my haircut. There's a lot of hair going on. I don't like it. I'm tempted to shave it, just shave it all off. Anyway, excuse me while I sip. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to drink. This is for you, JB. You like that? Was that ridiculous enough for you, JP? Anyway, we haven't even started. We almost 30 minutes in, and we're having a good time. Anyway, Jeremy DeWitt, the musical. Don't inhale while drinking. I have made that mistake. Chat is going crazy tonight. You're absolutely right. Oh, Patrick, Nobody special. I think you are brainwashed. I think I have it right and you have it wrong. Well, you can think that all you want. This is, a country in which you are allowed to think these things. That does not make you right. And even if I was wrong, I'm happy to be wrong if it means I made the choice to keep people safe and save lives. I'm happy to make that choice. Whether or not it's actually going to matter, I'll make that choice every day because I care about people's safety. Do you care about people's safety? Patrick, do you? Do you care about people's safety? Because I care about people's safety. I became a police officer to protect people. And I'm not going to stop protecting people now that I'm no longer enforcing law. I became a police officer for a lot of things. To help people and protect them. Protecting being part of helping. Okay, Patrick. You've already said that. Can we bring new and relevant things to this conversation, or are we just gonna keep spouting nonsense? Anyway, I'll let you do your thing, Patrick. Thank you, Sarah. Cowards are ruining our country, but Lucas are running our country. Overzealous pigs who forgot their oath are ruining this country. Well, at least I know the law, Patrick. You're the one who seems to have it backwards. So, we're gonna talk about that player piano, by the way. So, all right, here we go. So, intro, whatever. I was going to... So, my player piano is my desk. I have a board that goes over it. And I'm just going to start this off with removing the board. Like, oh, hey, guys, what's up? Let me just put this away and we can start a thing. But I couldn't get a good take of me actually playing the piano and mouthing the words. Because, it's all lip-syncing, basically. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do this little intro here. And leave it at that. And I'm not actually playing anything. I'm just doing that at the keys. I just couldn't get the timing right. Playing it for realsies. So, like dumb little face there. Yeah. So this is my actual. This is where I'm sitting right here. I got my little water tap. If you ever hear this noise, that's that right there. It's great. I love it. And then computer. So if you're like, why is he looking in the corner? Up in here is where I keep my chat. And then I have a little drawing tablet here so I can do other things at the same time. This right here is where my camera is currently. And this is my piano desk. I like my setup. It's a nice little setup. A little messy. But, let me see. So, there's, Jesus. A gas station. I do want to talk about, I'm sorry, some of this is blurry. I couldn't tell at the time that it had focused on the gas thing behind me. And I was like, you know what? That'll work. So I didn't reshoot it. Especially since there are other things that are blurry. This is his earliest video. This video behind me is it's not a big closet. The camera angle makes it look bigger than it is. It is a walk-in closet, though. It's pretty nice. Where was I? Sorry, I clicked away. This is the oldest video on the Metro State YouTube channel. It says it's 2012. I don't know if that's correct. Metro uses motorcycles with higher visibility. I don't know what this is because I'm blocking it, obviously. His own company. So I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be control, but there's an N missing. He could escort funerals. He protects. This is the video where he's yelling at the Porsche driver. Is this the Porsche driver video? This is the one who he gets off. He's like, "You want to do something? Let's go. Let's do this."
Sessions using language that's inexcusable. He says he's not.
His website, of course, and this highlights. I didn't really point it out, but if you read it, you can tell it. Where he's like, "Oh, I'm not security, but his website's irrefutable." Where is it? There's something right here. Trained protection officers. You can tell me that's not security? Okay. If I was trying to hire you, I would assume that you are licensed security, but what do I know? I only enforce the law. Not in Florida, though. Could be wrong. And then, of course, the classic one where he's just being an idiot. This book, we've seen this book on stream before. This has nothing to do with law. This one is, I'm looking for it. I don't know where I put it. This is just one of my books that I have as a prop. My accordion. Do I know how to play accordion? Not well. We're getting there. This is an old antique because the leather needs replacing. But I figured I have it. I can use it as a prop in the video. But anyway, sorry, I had to put someone in timeout. Yeah, I really should work on that more. Ask questions, folks. Ask questions. I'm just going through this. Hit me with that. Accordion. Car. Good times. More car stuff. The shower scene. This is an actual tuxedo. I've bought some. Whenever I find a tuxedo at like Goodwill, because I shop there occasionally. I love going somewhere and not knowing what I'm going to find. Like there's this grocery chain called Grocery Outlet, I think, and their stock is always changing. And let me tell you, it's always fun to be like, all right, what am I going to find today? So I love going to Goodwill and seeing if they have any suits that I can destroy. And so this is a tuxedo that I found at a Goodwill ages ago that I've been sort of holding on to just in case I ever need it. My plan was to like do a Tough Mudder or run like a 5 or 10K in a tuxedo. But I figured this would be a good thing. So just in the shower. Someone asked about this paneling, by the way. This is roofing material that is prefabricated. So usually roofing material has these ridges. And if you contact the supplier, you can get it cut to your specifications. So that's what that is. And it works great in a shower. It looks great. I love it. How long did it take to record the video? It took a few days. I could have done it all in one day. Maybe. But I shot a little bit. I edited it to see if it was any good. Then I went, all right, cool. So I had like a schedule planned where I only did like a few shots a day. Obviously, like the stuff I can do in my house, like the shower scene or the stuff with the piano, very easy to do. But outside, I found a place locally that I was like, all right, there's not going to be any people there, so I don't have to worry about the virus. It'll work for what I'm trying to do. Like the alleyway where I'm being sprayed by the hose, which is this gets me every time. That should have been the thumbnail. I love that. Just so much. Yeah, so I'm being sprayed by a hose. This is a hot water hose, by the way. I didn't realize I had one of those, but it was amazing. I'm very frustrated with this scene. Blue Bacon's #1 fan. It's tempting. I couldn't see the camera. I knew vaguely where it was, but I'm getting hit sideways in the face with water, just dripping down the glasses. I couldn't see a thing. So I'm off center. I was very frustrated about that. But, yeah, same here. I barely knew where the camera was. And it is a little blurry. I couldn't see that was out of focus. It's I was inspired by the Modern Major General. Specifically, this part here had a very Modern Major General feel. And that was intentional. The stuff with the accordion, if I can find it. Where is the accordion? That was more of, not intentionally, but I realized I had sort of pulled that from Fiddler on the Roof. I love musicals, guys, by the way. And the whole thing sort of had a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious feel to it, which I realized early on. I was like, I can't mimic that. That would be ridiculous. But then I realized I liked the melody I created too much. Our MPs are even really cops, though. There is some debate about that. Yes, they are. I mean, the definition of law enforcement. Or was I? I'm sorry. I'm keeping up with your trying to keep up with your comments. But yeah, Seattle does get sun. Seattle's actually very sunny in the summer. Now I'm not in Seattle. I'm near Seattle, relatively. But the summer is very, very sunny in Washington. It's the winter that's awful. So you got like 6 months of just straight rain, and then 6 months of very nice weather. But the winters are awful. I just never get used to them. I like nice rain. I like a rain, right? I like a warm rain. Love it. But cold rain, I was ruined by by the Army because we had to, go do PT in December in the rain outside. It was awful. It was a whole thing. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, Seattle winter is mild comparatively. Like Colorado, I know has some pretty brutal winters. East Coast has some pretty brutal winters. Ours aren't bad. It's just wet, and our drivers are terrible. And the moment it starts raining, people start crashing into each other. So I can't really complain because we're not like we get about a week of snow a year. That's it, more or less. So compared to what other people have to deal with, it's really not that bad. But I just hate cold rain so much. I'd rather have snow. But let me see. Yeah, so I couldn't see the camera. And there, once I took my glasses off, I realized like, oh, I'm off center. This was fun. So you can't see it very well. The lighting wasn't great because we were running out of time. It was starting to become sort of dusk, so the camera didn't focus as well as I would have liked. But this is my uniform that I actually wear for actual Army stuff. I've sanitized it. Sanitizing meaning I've removed all identifying information. And I've replaced it. I Sharpied a bunch of stuff on there. So we have the major rank. We have DeWitt, U.S. Army on the shoulder, or the arm. We have Special Forces patch, and we have 2 tabs. We have Rangers and Special Forces tab. You can't really see it, but it is there. And there are like people over here like walked by. There's someone walking their dog. And they walked by me, and I'm sure they were incredibly confused. Like, what is this guy doing? But anyway, hold on. I gotta put some people in timeout for spamming. Guys, don't spam the chat. I'm trying to follow it, please. Y'all got a bit of a gut since leaving the Army. No, it's just because I'm hunched over, trying not to fall. That's just the uniform pooping out. I'm on a bridge right here. This is a bridge. And I'm hunched over, trying not to lose my balance. You can see at the very end. There's one of the my outtakes. I actually do lose my balance and like almost fall over. But let me see. Where's I almost fall? Right here. You can see me rock back slightly. Unfortunately, you can't see it very well. Yeah, I sort of like, oh. So I'm hunched over, but I'm trying not to look like I'm hunched over, and it poofs the front of that out there. I promise you, I'm still within regulation weight. Yeah, please stop spamming the chat. I'm not gonna be making anyone a moderator. All right, so there's the player piano. All right, here we go. Here we can see kind of the patches. You guys won't be able to see it super well. Oh, I just broke my everything. Let's see if I can make that a little bigger. All right. Nope. Do it again. All right. Oh, yeah, there we go. So this is, I don't remember which patch this is. Ranger tab, the Special Force tab, part of it accidentally tore off. But hey, you know. Did I film on my own? For the most part, yes. The drone scene I did not film on my own, and we'll get to that. Oh, when we get to that. There are a couple scenes where someone held a camera, but for the most part, it was on a tripod, and I was just like, hope it works. And that is to blame for some of the blurriness, unfortunately. And I'll take the blame. I should have checked. But, you know, I'm looking at a screen this big from 15 feet away, 10 feet away. I can't tell if it's blurry or not. But look at that piano in action. I can play that piano for you guys right now if you want. I can even give you songs to choose from. It is very loud. I could not hear myself. I couldn't hear anything. I have an earpiece in. I have a little headphone in. in my right ear that you can't see because I could not hear anything. And if you watch, I'm going to be putting out a blooper reel, by the way, for my Patreon. And I'll probably share it with you guys in the Discord. So if you join my Discord, you'll probably get it as well. And speaking of Discord, now's a good time to share that, I think. I popped that in my streams. I have my I can't play much. I'll play you guys some music. Give me a second. We'll get there. My desk is back on top of my piano, so I can't actually see the keys, but I could probably do some of it blind. Anyway, all right, where were we? Yeah, so there it goes in the background. In a tree, because the joke is go out on a limb, and there I am. Anyway, I thought it was clever. I don't know about you guys. A happy birthday to your hubby, Dreamer. I cannot play the entertainer. I used to be able to play the entertainer. I cannot play it. Me just new boot goofing. This part. So this is where I'm dressed up as a mirror. And this tie has corgis with balloons attached to them. And I'm kind of upset that you can't see it better. And I have, fanning this case file. And I pull out the bayonet and stab it. That is a real bayonet. That is this guy right here. This is a German Mauser bayonet from World War I era. And it's, who doesn't have a German bayonet? I did stab myself with it by accident in a different take. So originally, I had this under my jacket so I could use both hands to gesture. And I pulled it out, and I'm holding the case, and I stab it like that. Well, other hand. And I managed to get my thumb right there. I don't know. I have pictures of it. It was so for this scene, like blood was actually dripping off my thumb. You can't see it because the case is in the way. It wasn't that bad of a stab. It was just broke skin through brunt force. Like I am trying to stab through this case. This is not a sharpened bayonet. Like the point, it has a point to it. It's not sharpened. I am trying to put a hole in that file. I was not able to. There's some good dents in it, but didn't work. But yeah, in one of my outtakes, I did absolutely stab myself in the thumb. It's all right. Blue Bacon's number one fan. I'm going to hide you. When this whole Dewitte thing dies off with the channel as well, people have asked me that. I never intended for this to take off like it did. I was like, all right, this Dewitte thing is fascinating. I'll make a single video on it. Which is what I discussed in the beginning of the musical. I'm like, look, guys, I didn't mean for this to happen. But since it is, let's take advantage of it. When he stops being a topic of discussion on this channel, which absolutely is happening, I'm sort of toning it back. I'm starting to work on my other projects again, my sovereign citizen stuff. I've got stuff on the arrest of an FBI agent that I found incredibly fascinating. I have a few other videos. I have another subject to discuss, which is Gregory Tambone. He runs the YouTube channel Bone Tactical, and there are a lot of things he said on that channel against the United States government that I can prove are not factually true. So I will be confronting him about that. So he will be my next Jeremy DeWitt, basically saying, like, look, guys, here's his side of the story. Here's the other side of the story. I'm not going to attack him. I don't want anyone to attack him once that happens. But I do want to address, like, look, he's putting out this story about how he was unfairly targeted by the American government. Here's why that was not the case. Hold on, guys. And I gotta block some people. There we go. So yeah, so Dewitte has been a lot of fun to discuss. And again, I'm not his enemy here. I'm not trying to get anyone in trouble or screwed over. I think he has made some mistakes. I think he will pay for those mistakes. And once he pays for them, cool. That's how the system works. Nothing against him. But we'll see. If you make a mistake, cool, everyone makes mistakes. If you learn from that mistake, great. That's the best we can hope for. If you fail to learn from that mistake, now I have an issue with you. That's the whole thing. So, sorry, the chat. Yeah, the viewers' numbers will go down, at least temporarily. I didn't make this channel to be a primary source of income. I'm gonna miss having large live streams like this. I have a lot of fun interacting with all of you. I think we will get back to this point, and I'm sure surpass it. But I will miss it a little bit. So I absolutely see it dropping off and then hopefully rising again. I'm absolutely prepared for that. But don't worry, I have had a plan this entire time. Even before Jeremy DeWitt, I had a progression of where this channel was going to go. And so now I'll be able to get back on track to that. Gregory Tambone, the reason he was brought to my attention is because there was a article that said that his company was run by veterans. He is not a veteran. To my knowledge, he's never claimed to be a veteran. But the Guardians of the Green Beret did a thing on him saying, like, oh, this man is not a veteran, has never been a soldier. It's fair. He has never claimed to be one, though. It's someone else made the mistake of assuming he was because he goes and does military-type operations in foreign countries as basically a hired gun, as a contractor. Cool, good for him. He is a felon. Multiple felonies. He's been charged with multiple felonies. He's been convicted of one, of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or something similar. His story does not match the police report. At least the arrest warrant. I don't know. There's not that much information out there, but his story does not seem to add up, first of all, and it certainly doesn't seem to match what the police are saying. So I'm requesting more information on that. His most recent gripe is that he was arrested in Germany and deported back to America. He was extradited back to America to face a trial for a case of rape, where he claims he was innocent, the government had nothing on him, and the government's just out to get him, when in fact he actually filed a guilty plea for a reduced charge of not rape, but a misdemeanor instead of a felony. So he pled guilty. So his claims like, I'm totally innocent, the government is just corrupt and after me. Like, you pleaded guilty, dude. How are you innocent here? So I'm requesting that, and that is what has drawn my attention to him. So I reviewed a lot of his videos, and I found inconsistencies in his story. And before I start to discuss that, I do want to have as much information as I can get from the police, because I like to do this. I want to do this fairly. And if I'm wrong, I'll just drop the entire thing and be like, oops, sorry, my bad. But I asked him on his channel. We had a discussion. I'm like, hey, this article online, it says that you filed a guilty plea, but you're saying you're completely innocent. Can you discuss that? And he goes, oh, that's not true. We can't trust the media. I'm like, oh, well, that's fine. I'll just go directly to the source and request the file. And he's like, okay, well, request this too. Like, don't believe everything you read. I'm like, okay, thanks for the advice, guy. So I got the and I'll be getting more, but I've gotten the main page of the case. I don't remember which page it is. With the help of some of my subscribers. And thank you so much to the people who helped get that. Because this was in Utah. In Utah, you have to basically go there and actually file a request, or else pay a bunch of money to have them do it over the internet. And it's very frustrating. Someone was like, I'm in Utah. I can do that for you. And thank you so much. I believe, guy goes by the name Shark, I believe. Thank you so much. And if I'm getting that wrong, I'm so sorry. But it says very clearly, like on April 28th or something like that, 2018, filed a guilty plea for a reduced charge and was convicted on that charge. And so I'm like, hey, my preliminary review of this case shows that you filed a guilty plea on this date for this charge. Can you comment on that? And he deleted our entire conversation, which is not, in my opinion, the act of an innocent man. So, guys, stop insulting each other in the chat. Yeah, so we're gonna look into that. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun because he's a potentially dangerous man with potentially dangerous subscribers, and I'm putting myself at risk here, and we're gonna see what happens. Anyway, yeah, can we play nice in the chat? Can we do that? Anyway, what happened to Patrick? Where'd Patrick go? Kind of miss him. He's fun. All right, yeah, stabbed myself in the thumb. Got myself real good. I can't see it. Thanks to everyone who let me borrow their property from a safe distance. By the way, the people who are involved in this video. This is my drone shot. I knew I have a drone now. I had to use it. God, I love this shot so much. I'm just in the middle of the street because no one's driving. The street's unoccupied. Oh, it's so good. Oh, look, it's my videos. Yeah, that was taken with this bad boy right here. Hold on, let me that boom. So this is my drone. It's very nice. Gimbal doesn't want to stay up, but yeah, this is a DJI Phantom 3, either 4K or Pro, and got it for $100. This is $1,000 drone, folks. And someone was like, "Yeah, the controller's kind of broken," and the controller's not that broken. He's like, "Ah, yeah, the antenna like broke. It's still connected by the wire." He's like, "I don't know if it works. I don't use it. I don't really care to find out if it works. $100 at your own risk. There you go." And I'm like, that sounds like a scam, but for $100, I'm willing to take that risk because I'm looking at like a $400 drone, which isn't nearly as good as this. It's good, not this good. This one does 4K. Can't be mad about that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy it. Bought it. Thought if it doesn't work, I can sell it for parts and make my money back. Because that camera alone is worth like $150 that's on this thing. People will sell it as its own separate thing. And I've been tempted to see if I can get it working as a webcam because it's a very nice camera. But yeah, still in one piece. Even after I flew it, I haven't crashed it yet. I'm sure I will. But yeah, this thing is it's very nice, very loud. It's a whole thing. But very, very excited. So I'm going to be using that drone. That drone I bought for the Green River Killer series I'm going to be doing. And I hope that draws a lot of people in because that's going to be a lot of fun. And even if it doesn't, I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. Searching for these bodies. I'm doing it for me just as much as I'm doing it for the rest of you. I'm fascinated as someone who's in law enforcement. Like, I don't think there's a police officer who isn't fascinated by serial killers. Not like in a good way. Not like, yeah, serial killers are the best. I hope there are more of them. But more like, what is this? Like, what a crazy thing going on. Yeah, as long as I fly under 400 feet, actually. I do have this drone registered. And like in this, you gotta get like an unmanned aircraft license. It's a whole thing, and all of that has been going through the proper channels. I can't fly it out in public until I get that license signed off. But since everything's closed, I can't get that license signed off, which is very frustrating. So I'm being very, very careful with what I do with that drone. As long as I basically take off from private property and land it back on private property that I have permission to fly it on, I'm more or less okay. There are a lot of limitations. And you know how I like to do things within the law. I could get away with doing it technically in violation of the FAA rules. I do not intend to do that. So, JP calling someday? Yes. Not today. I have things I got to do today. But of course. What are you guys? Yeah, guys, stop being jerks to each other. greetings to the UK chat. All right, let's see. Where was I? All right, yeah. Drone shot. Got that final line of scoring those Corvettes. I liked my lyrics. I'm pretty proud of those. I don't know. What are your questions? Am I a Democrat or Republican? That's a good question. Wouldn't you like to know? Oh man, if the auditing community starts using drones, they're in for a world of hurt. There are a lot of restrictions on drones in the interest of privacy that do not apply to someone on sort of street level with a camera. Because drone, and it comes down, let me see if I can explain the law on this one. It comes down to the expectation of privacy. You expect not to have a level of privacy from someone on the same sort of level as you, but you expect to have privacy from the air. And until the expectation goes away, until surveillance from the air becomes more common, that's not going to change. So I can't fly this drone over crowds. I can't really fly over anyone that does not give permission to be filmed. There are a lot of restrictions, and while trying to find a drone, I watched tons of videos on drone flying, and almost every single one of them has violations of the FAA drone flying rules. Like, I can't fly over 400 feet. I can't lose visual sight of it. It all has to remain visually within my eyesight. That's obviously not a great way to explain it. I have to be able to see it at all times. A lot of people are like, let's see how far away this can go. So, like, people will buy drones like, oh, this drone can go 4 kilometers away. I can't see a drone 4 kilometers away. I don't need that. 1 kilometer at most. Right? Now, if you have, like, special licenses, I'm sure you can do that. But I doubt a lot of these people have those special licenses. It certainly would be interesting. Drone-related speed trap. I'm not familiar with drone-related speed traps. News Now Utah. I would have to check News Now Utah. Their videos to see. I know News Now Houston, I think it is. I've been very, very happy with their content. If it is Houston. Is it News Now Houston? I did a video on one of the News Now guys. I think it was Houston, and they did an incredible job, and they were very accurate with the law. Not everything was perfect. Never is. Can't expect it to be. But they had certainly done their research. And I was like, this guy is the right direction. I don't have a problem with the auditing community. Or the auditing movement. Let me correct that. I do have a problem with the auditing community. Because a lot of them don't understand the law and don't try to understand the law. News Now Houston, if he's the one I'm thinking of, absolutely made that attempt. And did a great job. And was very successful at understanding the law. David Warren, I think, is News Now Dallas. Let me check. I want to confirm this because I'm throwing out names. I want to make sure I'm throwing out the right name. Let me check my channel real quick. It was when I was doing videos on the right to film military installation, and I saw this guy. He had filmed a recruiting office, which you can film. That isn't protected under 18 U.S.C. 795. And of course, soldiers came out and they were like, "You can't be here." He's like, "Cool, call the police." And the police show up, and the police were like, "Nope, you're totally fine." And he did a great job. And he was aware that 18 U.S.C. 795 did not apply to the recruiting offices or wherever they were. And he was able to articulate that very well. And where is it? Oh, no, it is News Now Dallas. I'm sorry. It's News Now Dallas, not News Now Houston. News Now Dallas is the one I'm thinking of. Someone's going to call me out on that. And be like, yeah, why didn't you get it right? I don't know. I'm not from Texas. I've been in Texas once, and that was in an airport. By the way, I was in that airport for the transport of a prisoner by airplane. He deserted from the military, and I got to fly him back to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, to get him. Was that the one where I went through Texas? I don't know. I got to fly on a plane with a gun. I was allowed to do it, and I had a man handcuffed under a jacket. It was a great time. It's very boring. It sounds very exciting. It was not. It was very boring. It's a cool story, but yeah. News Now, Dallas. My mistake. My bad. News Now, Utah. I would be happy to provide advice. SergeantBlueBacon@gmail.com is a great way to reach me. And if you give me your state, I can try to give you some suggestions. Now, I don't want you to consider it legal advice. In the interest of me remaining not liable for any legal actions against you, but I am more than happy to go through some of your state laws and give you my interpretation of those. C-130? No, I flew commercial. It was like Delta or something. I don't remember exactly which airline it was, but it's not News Patrick. Yeah, no, it's commercial. We had the guy. So local police had picked the guy up on a traffic stop. I think one of his lights was out. He had deserted 4 years prior. He had deserted from basic training. He was infantry, and he was worried that his drill sergeant was going to physically attack him. Understandable. And he fled. Not the best move. There are other actions that can be taken to actually get you out of basic training. They're lengthy, but they'll protect you if you think that you are in danger. But he made a poor choice. He fled, and the government doesn't look for you if you desert. They just wait, because you're going to show up eventually. Either use your social security number to file for a bank account, or you get picked up like this guy did on a traffic stop. And when your name gets run through the system, oh boy, all sorts of red flags pop up. Government arrested him, held him for us, and said, hey, we need to extradite this guy to Oklahoma, to Fort Sill, where he trained, because that's his place of duty, technically, and the Army owns him. Once you sign that contract, the Army owns you, more or less. But that's a choice you make freely. It is, at the moment, volunteer service. We're not going to go into that. Anyway, so we got the guy, and the guy was pretty nice. He was young. I feel bad for the dude. So we wore, basic civilian clothes, just jacket. We weren't in suits or anything. It was me and another. It was me and a detective. So I'm an investigator. Investigator in the military means that I'm a soldier in an investigative position. Detective means they're a civilian in an investigative position through military police investigations. But so when I say detective, I mean a civilian. When I say investigator, I mean a soldier who is doing a similar job. So we handcuffed the dude. We had a little windbreaker with the pockets removed. So he put his hand in the windbreaker, and then we handcuffed him underneath that and zipped it up so that people couldn't see that he was handcuffed. And we walked around. We had concealed. What was I carrying? I was carrying a SIG P228, and I think the detective was as well. And we just looked like normal people hanging out with this dude. We didn't hold on to him or anything. He walked with us. He was pretty reasonable. I think we had his hands chained to his waist actually, underneath the jacket, if I remember. This was a couple years ago, so I don't remember exactly the details. But yeah, we went to the security or whoever. We had a contact. We went to either the ticket counter or someone, and we had all this paperwork. He said, we filed this in advance. We're transporting a prisoner, and we got to go into the area that the pilots go through. So we went to security and then hooked a right, and we just signed a little book and just went right into the terminal, which was pretty cool. I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, of course I have a gun. They're not going to check me. I'm doing this lawfully with all the correct paperwork, and we got him on the plane. We were some of the first people on the plane. The first people to go on the plane are the ones with guns. So if you're the first person to board, if you're in the first boarding group and there's already someone on there, that is likely an air marshal. right? So you go on there before anyone else. You introduce yourself to anyone else who has a firearm in case there's an issue. You all know who each other are. You introduce yourselves to the pilots so they know who is flying armed. And, of course, the service staff, flight attendants are familiar with who you are. And we just flew with this guy between us. He took the middle seat and we were on the end. And we had to not fall asleep. And we landed and transported him. And that was basically it. It's really that simple. Let me see. Have I ever been next to a C-130 while it was running? I have not. I've been next to some cool vehicles while they're running, but not a C-130. They are loud, though. I've been in the area. I'm okay with not being next to a C-130. They're no joke. Yeah, there's my brief version of the prisoner transport. It's completely unrelated to anything with the musical. But you asked me a question, I'm going to answer it for the most part. Guys, stop going after people. I'm going to start blocking people. I'm going to be putting people in timeout. This is your warning. Try to keep the chat civil. We run a civil channel here, hopefully. Shock bullets. Ooh. I've gotten the opportunity to be in a Chinook a couple times. And the first time I did it, it was with CID agents. I was doing drug suppression investigations. And they had managed to get the Chinook pilots to agree to take them on one of their flights. It was a long flight, too. They went all over the place. And we practiced aerial photography in case we had to do surveillance. So we were like pointing a camera, trying not to drop it. Obviously, we had like the strap around our necks. But we're in the Chinook, which is the helicopter with the two rotors, just like taking pictures. So we were trying to all right, follow that car, right? We just picked some random car, like picture. Cool. All right, there's a house. We're going to circle that house. Picture. And we reviewed it later. It was like, all right, here's what you did well. Here's things to keep in mind for practicing this type of aerial photography, which I never got to use in an actual case. But it was a lot of fun. And they're like, hey, you guys want to open up the back? I'm like, what? Well, it's flying? Because it has this little, this door, it's a big door that's like open at the back. He's like, yeah. So we hooked up into these harnesses. And they opened up the back, and they had us sitting out the back, dangling our legs off. And I have a picture of that. It was terrifying. Especially when we hit turbulence, because you'd actually leave the ground and feel like you're about to fall out the back of this helicopter, kilometer up in the air. Oh my God. It was so much fun, though. You got a lot of cool experiences in the Army. I'm not saying that you should join for cool experiences, because there are a lot of not cool experiences. I'll tell you that right now. But I did get per diem for the prisoner transport. It was great. Deserted during fire watch. Oh my God. Yeah. Police near training bases are aware of what you look like. Everyone on base is aware of what you look like. The bus drivers are aware of what someone leaving looks like. Also, if you're in basic, your hair is buzzed. Unless you're a female. Females could probably get away with it more easily. But if you're male, you're basically bald. No one in their right mind has that look. Well, that's not true. In the military, you don't keep that look in the military, because that is the look of a trainee. And you can go bald. You can cut it real short, but I'm not saying I don't see it or that it's wrong to do it, but generally you do not see it. So on a training base, if you see anyone with that haircut, you're going to be real suspicious of them. So if you're in an area that a trainee shouldn't be, you're going to be questioned. So it's a whole thing. Not News Patrick. You're killing me. Let me see. Yeah, if you got an extra ticket. That's good. I like that. All right, musical. All right. What can I play for you guys? Let me get a little closer to my camera here. This is the hard part because I can't see what I'm doing. Who can name that one? I don't know if you guys can hear that, even. Alright, guys, stop going after repo. We can do just that's something we can address in the Discord. I will start putting. There it is, not 8-bit. Yeah, it's a little out of tune. It's an older piano. It works well enough. I need to hear. Yeah, it is. I need a hero. I can't do that without looking at it. More volume on the keyboard. Anyway, you know what? I'll give you volume. We can have the piano play itself. What songs do I have? I'm gonna give you some options. Double Dragon theme, yeah. Yeah, some options here. We got the Swanee River Boogie, which I am very fond of. 76 trombones. That's from the Music Man. I'll only play for a second. The Charleston. I don't know if that one actually works. Swanee. That's a fun one. All right, we're not. We're not going to be discussing that. The army goes rolling along. K-Songs? Do I have that? I was looking into buying that. I don't know if I actually got that. The Light of the Silver Moon, Old Fashioned Waltz Melody, Mac the Knife. When All the Saints Come Marching In is a fun one. I don't think that one is copywritten. The one I was playing, that I have in my piano that I was playing at the time, is the which one was it? The Waltz. I just had it. Oh, 5'2". That's a fun one. I don't remember where it was. Where'd it go? I don't know. How long have I played piano for? I used to play quite a bit. I'm not like a lot, but I hadn't played it for a while, and then we found this player piano. It turns out you can get pianos for free. And I was like, oh yeah, that'd make it really. Well, I wasn't the one who thought of the desk. Maybe certain people in my life came up with that idea that will remain unnamed, in the interest of their own privacy. I gotta roll it up. Give me a second. And they're like, yeah, piano would make a really cool desk. I'm like, yeah, it absolutely would. And we saw this piano. I was like, wow, it's got a really nice aesthetic to it. Got the piano. Found out it was a player piano and that it worked. Which, oh, thank you, Angela. Man, one of these days I should show you guys. I'm sorry, I know you can't see anything. I should share with you guys my World War II collection because it's pretty. I think it's cool. I don't know if there's any interest in that. We could absolutely do that. All right, let's. That's what the piano roll. If you've never seen a piano roll, guys, that is what they look like. You got these little holes in them. Yeah, so this is the old-fashioned waltz melody, and the song that was actually playing at the time was "Bicycle for Two," which, if you've ever seen in the video at the time, if you've ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, that is used in that movie, I believe. All right, let me get this working. It's a little temperamental sometimes. It is a little old. And it is very loud. I did not have 3.3 subscribers 1 month ago. That is definitely not the case. For those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much, because it's been pretty amazing. I know, I can't make up my mind. Let me get this thing running. You guys ready? You ready for this? Start this thing up. I want to play you a little bit. Here we go. Fun, right? Anyway, my plan, eventually, I want a mobile saloon, right, on a like a trailer, right? You know, we were talking like 1800s, like, oh, town ain't big enough for the two of us. Why is behind a bar serving like sarsaparilla or something? And we just drive up somewhere. Start the player piano. I'm looking into getting another one so I can modify it. I found plans from this guy who put a bunch of stuff in his, did some really cool stuff so that he can hook up a computer to it and play anything, as long as it is properly written. So, it's loud. It's a little out of tune. That's not the greatest example. And this thing, you can control the speed, or you're supposed to be able to. It doesn't really work that well. I'm gonna, you know what? You guys want a different one that might work better? I chose that one because one of the Saints, I don't believe, is copywritten. I'm in love with Jeremy, apparently. I would say not, but I don't think I'm his type, and I know he isn't mine. Did this channel just die because of the piano? Yeah, bro, on the second floor of the trailer. Roll up this. Yeah, don't mind me. Just pass in front of that camera there. Like I'm saying, a saloon on a wagon. You know, just imagine you're just like minding your own business. Someone rolls up with a player piano, serving root beer and sarsaparilla. I can't serve alcohol here. I mean, I need licenses for that, and you can't drink in public, so it would not be doable. Yeah, I know the camera's garbage for just a second. Right? If I would do that, I would have a player piano. If I can get one running through a computer, I can get more than one running through a computer. I'm just saying. Yeah, make a version of Clue. Jeremy DeWitt on the highway with illegal lights. I'm infatuated with Jeremy. No, he's just a good topic of conversation, and people are interested. And why would I not talk about something that people are watching? You know? Oh yeah, the Westworld stuff. I love Westworld. Why didn't anyone tell me there were more than one season? How dare you? I know. I like this piano. I want to modify this one. But yeah, I don't know. You guys want me to leave this piano alone? Or do you want another tune that's gonna work a little bit better? I really do need to tune this thing though. Oh, good. Yes, I would love your pump organ from the 1800s. Do I think Jeremy could be a good cop? I don't think Jeremy could be a good cop. I think he is too aggressive and too prone to letting his emotions run him. I think he could familiarize himself with the law very well. But he just seems too aggressive. And also, felon. Let me just get a little sip. But, yeah. We'll never find out. Another tune? All right. I'll give you some options. Do we want Swanee River Boogie, which I'm a fan of. We also have Swanee, which is apparently different. A lot of old Southern tunes were very popular when these were popular. Mac the Knife is a classic. We have 76 trombones, which I'm pretty fond of. I have a medley from Man of La Mancha. It is not designed to be played in this type of piano. It works, kind of. I don't know. Tell me, guys, what you think. Have I been in any musicals? In high school, yes. I was, what was I in? We did, my first one was West Side Story, and I was just a background character. I was very young. High school. Let me see what happened after that. Then they did, the next year, every year my high school did a musical. A lot of high schools do that. Yeah, Tony. Every year my high school did a musical. The year following West Side Story, great musical by the way, was Seussical the musical, and I was like, heck no, I'm not dealing with that. No. Swanee River with the Green River, I like that. Yes. All right, I'll make that happen. I was not part of Seussical the musical. It's a fun musical, not really my thing, but after that it was Guys and Dolls, and I played the detective in Guys and Dolls. Foreshadowing of my real life, right? That was fun. After that was Beauty and the Beast. It was a lot of fun to perform. I played some speaking roles, and I was the narrator in the beginning. Once upon a time, in a faraway land, a young prince lived in a shining castle. Although he had everything his heart desired, the prince was something cruel, unkind. I don't remember exactly how it is. But they had me in the beginning with a microphone, like, in the back, while they acted it out. And, oh, the curse upon the castle. You know, that sort of thing. It was fun. I wish I was Gaston. I love Gaston. I actually wanted to be LeFou. Gosh, it disturbs me to see you, Gaston, looking so down in the dumps.
When I was a lad, I ate 4 dozen eggs every morning to help me get large.
Anyway, but I digress. I think Beauty and the Beast is my favorite Disney movie. Musical, anyway. I will take that Brendan Fraser comment all day. Love Brendan Fraser. I was a police officer, yes. It's weird, but I have a lot of musical hobbies, and someone was like, "Why don't you make a musical?" I was like, "That's too much work." And they went, "No, make a musical." I was like, "Okay, I'll see if the lyrics work," and the lyrics worked. I went, "I could absolutely do this." Lumiere did have a fun song, and then after that, it was Oklahoma, which a lot of people don't like. I didn't like Oklahoma until I was part of it, because I saw an older version that was really, really boring. If you watch the Hugh Jackman version, it's actually pretty good. And I was Judd, who is the villain. And oh man, did I have fun playing a villain. Isn't the mic great? Isn't it fun? It's not an amazing microphone. It's like a $50 microphone. You can get better microphones for $50. But it definitely does the job, and it looks so good. And I was like, look, if I'm going to have a microphone on a stream, I want it to look fancy. Like, I love the look of this. I have a better microphone that I use for my main recordings. Like, for example, in the Jeremy DeWitt music video, I used a different microphone that's much higher quality. This one is a Rockville RCM02 is what it says on here. If you go on Amazon and just look up gold microphone, you'll find this thing. I also have a phantom power supply that goes to it, which is something you're probably going to want if you get one of these. Yeah, no, I love the look, the whole look of it. I saw it and I'm like, there's a better microphone that I'm looking at right now, but I need to have this because it's just, if it works, I'm keeping it. Even if it's not great, and it's good, I wouldn't record professional stuff on it by any means. But can military police arrest civilians in the U.S.? Yes. Within their territorial jurisdiction. Now, every police agency has a territorial jurisdiction. Military police, their territorial jurisdiction is strictly to the property of the military base. And that includes property that is outside of the fence line. But whereas civilian police can sometimes be granted concurrent jurisdictions, the ability to enforce law outside of their municipality or county, military police not so much without special instructions or signatures on very specific pieces of paper. Oh, thank you, Adam. Yeah. See. Try to be a police officer. No. Anyway, all right, yeah. Let's get some Swanee River for the Green River Killer. I just love this piano. I haven't played this piano too much recently, so any excuse to get that thing running. This one it's a boogie, so it's a lot of fun. When I'll have my next Twitch? That's a good question. Probably not for at least a few days. I still have to make that happen. I started the Twitch, guys, just because I was playing video games with some of the guys on my, in my Discord, and we were still having conversations about some of the topics, and we were having a lot of fun. I went, you know what? Everyone should be involved in this. And the Twitch isn't going to be like a main channel or anything, but I didn't want to pollute my channel, my main channel here, with video game content. As much as I love video game content, I watch other people play video games all the time, but I don't want to have my channel focus on too many things. So I was like, a Twitch would be fun. Let's try that out. So I saw it's not like fully up and running, but you know. All right, let's start this thing. All right, here we go. Fun, right? It's good. I love that one. That whole boogie woogie feel. I say, look, we're bringing player pianos back. Yeah, you can get your iPods, your iPod Nanos, whatever the kids are using these days. I'm just kidding. I had an iPod Nano, by the way, like the first generation, and then it died. But so I'm all lasted. Of course, with your mobile phones and your CDs. It's man, they're so much fun. It just has a different feel to it. How do I manage to interview JD without knowing you're taking the piss out of my YouTube? It's good to see you guys. Sarah, come back soon. All that good stuff. How did I interview him? Well, because I was the only one willing to be reasonable about it. Yeah, I make some jokes about him at his expense. I make jokes about me at my expense, you know. But I put out a video, and I had some live streams, and people called in. APR called in, and I think they were pretty happy that I wasn't just bashing them. I was like, I'll listen to what you're saying. The Metro State YouTube channel messaged me and says, "Oh, how dare you not validate this person who's claiming to be, you know, an employee or have been an employee." And the person was an employee for like 2 days before they quit, or something like that. I don't remember the exact details. So it's like, of course you don't remember this guy, but there's evidence. I'm not saying that they are an employee, but there was enough evidence that I felt that I could put in quotation marks employee, and I did put it in quotation marks, I believe, or I made it clear that we weren't sure, but this is what they were claiming. So, you know, believe it at your own risk. And so he's like, "How dare you not check with us?" I'm like, "Oh, I've contacted you guys. You didn't contact me back." "Well, you've never contacted us. No one's ever called us and said they were you." I'm like, "Oh, I never called you. I sent you an email through the email on your website." And they went, "Oh, well, schedule a time." And so I called in, and I talked to Jeremy, and got his email. We communicated back and forth, and he said, "I'd be willing to let you interview me." I went, "Cool, I would love to do that." And we came up with conditions. So I was like, "I'll have questions. I'll run the questions by you," because he wasn't like super like, "Let's do the interview." It was sort of me like poking him and be like, "All right, cool, we can do it, but we gotta be very careful about it." So I'm like, "I'll let you review all the questions beforehand. If I come up with any new questions, I'll run it by you first. And then if you don't like it, we'll just delete it out of the interview entirely." I'm gonna be calm. I'm gonna be reasonable. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be your chance to tell the side of the story. Now, I had ulterior motives. There were things that I was trying to get information from him. When I asked about if anyone, like what his community support was, that was to try to confirm information I had, see if he would jump on a topic that I was hoping he would. When I talked about investors, when I talked about, we haven't gotten to the charity part yet. I still have to release that video. So it sounds very, very mild when in fact there were specific things I was trying to get out of him, just to confirm information I had received. So sorry for those of you who wanted me to scream at him, but he would have just hung up. He made that very clear. This was his chance to tell his side of the story. No one else was giving him that. And I'm not saying that he was telling the truth. I'm not saying that, you know, he isn't guilty. But, you know, why not hear what he has to say? In the interest of fairness. So, you know, he wasn't happy that I used his mugshot, and, you know, because I had to have a placeholder for him, and I used his mugshot. He was mad about that. And I'm like, "Sorry, dude, but that's the best front picture of what we have of you, so I'm going to use. It's not a bad picture." And then he committed the stolen valor thing, and I was like, "We're going to need to address that," and communication ended. I think he might have blocked me either intentionally or by accident. He tried to contact me again. He was sending me emails. He was not getting my emails back. So if he did block me, he forgot to unblock me. So there was a lot of email communication where I was trying to, you know, me convincing him like, "Hey, I'm going to be reasonable. Let's have you on the stream." He's like, "I don't want to stream. I'd like to record it, not on the stream." I'm like, "That's not a bad idea, because then the chat won't be doing their thing. You know how you are, chat." And that way I can record myself and your audio separately. Of course, that ended up screwing me because my audio got corrupted. So I still have all of his audio, but I have to piece mine back together, and we're getting there. That's why it's been released in sections. I was going to release the entire thing as one big super interview, like an hour long. But then my audio broke after the fact. It's so frustrating. I'm so mad about it. Yeah. Why are you guys still attacking people in my chat? Anyway. Stop. Yeah, so got the interview. He's not happy with me. I'm pretty sure his attorney said stop it afterwards. Like, what did you do? Yeah. There are some things in there that don't look great for him. When he talks about, yeah, I took this other guy who was running his funeral escort company on a ride along. And the other guy's like, oh, it's so dangerous. Like, I would never do this. Basically, what you're saying is you're acting outside of the standards of funeral escorts with what you're doing. It basically tells us that the guy who's running the biggest company in Florida at the time, or at least in Orange County at the time, for funeral escorts, thinks that what you're doing is more dangerous than what he would do. It's not going to look great if they decide to use that against him. I doubt they will. They have enough on him. They don't need to, be sorting through my nonsense. But yeah, there are a couple things he says that she's like, ooh, maybe you shouldn't have said that. Like when he's like, my officers, my employee, my contractors or whatever he says, where he makes it clear that he's trying to say that the people who work for him aren't paid as employees. That sounds like a move to try to mitigate potential fallout from tax issues. That's not the real Jeremy DeWitt. No, that's not really him. Anyway, someone having fun. Hey, how about you call me Sergeant Jeremy? I'm just kidding. But anyway, I don't know, any other questions you have about this the video? I just want to do a stream and I have a good topic, so I'm like, oh, let's talk about this. You guys seem to like it. Oh, someone asked what games I was planning on streaming. We've been doing a lot of War Thunder. War Thunder's fun. It's free, so if people on Discord want to join in, they don't have to pay any money for it, which is one of the reasons I like it. But I want to do some Grand Theft Auto and do some role playing as a sovereign citizen, just to mess with people on the role playing servers. I'm gonna find some video games where you are law enforcement and just do some ridiculous stuff with those. What type of musician am I? Depends on what I'm feeling. Musical kind. I have a whole bunch of weird instruments. I just like learning to play stuff. I got a guitar floating around here somewhere. I have a trumpet. I just like music. You can mod GTA to make yourself a cop. But I actually had bagpipes. I have the practice device for bagpipes without the bag or the drones. I was not very good at it, so I stopped practicing. I think the musical turned out pretty well, Tom. I'm glad you guys liked it because I was worried. I put a lot of effort into it. I say a lot of effort. I put a reasonable amount of effort into it, and I wasn't sure how it would be received. But I'm really glad that. Worked out place and stuff. I don't think I have anything on me right now. It's in my piano. I can't see that. You know what? Let me see. No. Get as close to the piano. It's really difficult not being able to see what I'm doing. I can't play it without seeing it. Other people could. Other people are better than me. I'm okay on the keyboard. I'm not great. But maybe someday we'll just have a little stream where I play guitar and sing to you guys. What's that behind my... so, the scar? You guys want the fake story? The fake story is better than the real story. This bad guy right here. You guys let me know if you want the story I tell people. Fake story. All right. So it was wasn't last August. Was it last August? It was the August before last. I was having a bonfire with some friends. We had a little drinking, stuff's burning. And we were at his house, and he has this old barn. And unfortunately, he had set up the fire next to the barn. And fire has sparks, ignited a bit of hay in the barn. Barn catches fire, which is what happens with these old structures when sparks go into hay. Now, his dog was in there. He had a golden lab and had just had puppies, and they had been keeping it in the barn so the mom could have its time with the puppies, and they'd go in there and play with it to reduce the stress for the dog. The dog was, freaking out because the puppies didn't know what was going on. There's smoke. The entire building is creaking and structurally unsound, obviously. Old barns, am I right? Especially on fire. So, my drunk idiot self was like, I was going to save those. I wasn't that drunk, but I can save those dogs. So I run in there. I'm scooping up puppies left and right? And the older dog, like, the mama dog, managed to get herself out, but, like, the puppies are, like, falling over themselves. I'm just like, no, come back. Grab the puppies, and as I'm trying to leave, one of the beams, or the ceiling beams, ended up breaking because the fire had made, structurally unsound, and caught me right behind the ear. And just tore it open, and I had to get stitches and everything, and there's still a scar. But saved those puppies. None of that's true, by the way. Exactly 0 parts of that story are true, but sure sounds good. Like, oh, he saves the puppies from a fire. Yeah. Well, you're right. You shouldn't believe any of it. It's all fake. But hey, I told you it was fake before I told you. I bet you'd like the real story. Maybe someday I'll tell you the real story. The real story is very boring. I'll just keep making up fake stories for you guys. Anyway. All right. Yeah, but, stories, what are the other questions? Either about the music or just in general. I'm going to leave soonish. Because I got to play some Sea of Thieves. You guys ever played Sea of Thieves? Tons of fun. I have a friend I play with, and he's like, hey, we haven't played in a while. We should do that. So I'm going to abandon all of you for him. I know. It's terrible. See, I don't lie to you guys too often. There are some misdirections about my personal life that I give. Not everything I say about myself is true. I won't tell you which ones aren't. Just minor details that make it harder to confirm who I am. I don't really care about people finding out who I am. I care about people targeting those I care about. And that has already happened. Other people have become targets. Some soldiers that I worked with were targeted by people who I made angry with facts and real information. I don't want that happening again, and I certainly don't want it happening to my family, who is not asked for it. Right? I'm happy to deal with the trolls and the nonsense all day. I enjoy it. But I say enjoy it. It amuses me. My family, my friends, do not sign up for that. So if people find out who I am, they can get to them. And I don't want to be responsible for that. So, and oh boy, will I file criminal charges if that happens. Don't you worry. So, that's why I try to protect my identity. I have conversations with people who want me dead. But I don't want to put anyone else at risk. So, that's where that comes in. Me telling stories that aren't true. Now, if it's something like a big story like that, I'm going to tell you up front, like, this isn't true. But the only thing that I tell you guys that isn't true that I don't warn you about are small details about my personal life. Small details. No, this is all true. Everything I'm telling you right now is true. Doxing is illegal, which is why I tell you guys, do not post people's personal information. If I'm posting people's information, it's because I've made sure that it's safe to do so legally. I don't want any of you making the same mistake. If you think that you have information, run it by me, and I'll decide whether or not I should be taking the fall if I'm wrong about it being doxing or not. I don't want you guys to get hurt over that sort of thing. Doxing, I believe, would be illegal under... Well, if it crosses state lines, I'd have to check. I know there are laws out there that prohibit electronic harassment. What state am I from? I'll tell you which state I'm in, which is Washington State. But yeah, I don't support doxing at all. I really don't. I try to keep things civil, and sometimes I'll be a little sarcastic and whatever. Like with Patrick. But if he wants to discuss it, I'll have him on stream. Truth can be strained into the fictions. I've had some situations where I thought, no one's going to believe this. Things I've done. And a lot of people don't. I got some guy right now in my on my channel. It's like, you weren't police. Military police aren't police. You don't meet the federal definition. I actually do meet the federal definition. I did when I was a police officer through military police. Met the definition of what a law enforcement officer is. Now, he claims to have been Air Force. They have security forces, although he thought I was Air Force, so I kind of doubt his claims. He's like, I was OSI. Like, I know you're full of nonsense. He was much less polite about it than I am in my retelling. And I was like, cool, dude. I'm sorry you feel that way, but I was a police officer, and I understand, your feelings, and I get it. Air Force security forces aren't quite as policey as military police are, which is probably why they don't have police in the name. But yeah, it's a whole. Like, I was OSI, like the federal agency of the Air Force, and then you'd probably know better, wouldn't you? But Air Force Special Ops. I've done Air Force. I miss Air Force, or not Air Force. Airsoft. Airsoft's fun. One of these days, we'll have to do a meetup in Washington. We'll go paintballing or something. Oh no, I'm just engaging the guy. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Can you explain what federal statute? Oh, maybe I'm wrong, right? See what he has to say. It's a good fun. Anyway, any other questions before I get out of here? Let me text my guy, tell him like, hey, let's get some Sea of Thieves going. Oh yeah, cover up license plates. The car that I was in for my my musical, that's not my car. I borrowed a car from someone. Hold on. Yeah, I borrowed someone else's car. I went to someone else's house, like, because I do worry about my identity. Again, for the reason I stated before, which is to protect my friends and family from the people who want to kill police officers. So yeah, even in the Green River Killer stuff, because I'm going to be using drone shots of me driving. I'm not going to be using my car. So yeah, it's smart. Like, cover your license plate if you're gonna be filming it, because people can find that. How many people did I arrest? Oh, I have no idea. People have asked. People have demanded that answer before. Not that that's what you're doing. I have absolutely no idea. Enough to justify my existence within the military police. I left active duty as a sergeant. I am still in the National Guard as a sergeant, but I've made my fair share of arrests for sure. Criminal harassment for Texas. Yes. I think there's electronic harassment and stalking. It might be under electronic stalking. There might be a federal law on that. I'm not sure. It might only be state law. I don't really know how that would be covered across state borders. I never really dealt with that for the most part. Yeah, if people that depends on the threat. If there is an actual sense of the possibility of an imminent danger, right? So there are types of threats. There's conditional threats, which often don't count. So that's, if you do this, I'm going to hurt you, right? That's a conditional threat, the condition of, if you do this. That isn't always prosecuted. Depends on the state. In Washington, we don't prosecute, at least my prosecutor did not prosecute conditional threats. I'm sure there's case law to support that. But they say, I'm coming to your house right now with a gun. That's a threat. There's an imminent threat of danger. Whether or not it's true, that is a criminal statement. You can't threaten someone. That's not protected by the First Amendment. No, you cannot send Jeremy dick pics. No, you absolutely cannot. That is 100% illegal. Yeah, with the license plate number, that's the thing. Like, one of the reasons I'm so paranoid is I know how easy it is to find people. I know how to find people. That was part of my job, was figuring out where people lived, who they were, and I had access to some pretty neat systems. But there are a lot of systems civilians can pay to have access to as well, which I don't pay for because I have no real reason to. And just with a license plate, you've got a name, you've got an address. And once you have the name and address, you can get birthday, you can get family, Facebook page with all their friends. I'm not going to teach you guys how to do it. I'm already teaching you guys how to do it. I'm not going to. That's not the intent. Yeah. Yeah, JD can train me up. He outranks me, you know. Anyway. Any other questions before I get out of here? I get some food in me too. Oh, someone was asking what my next plans for any new music stuff is going to be. We talked about it before. The parody of Convoy, which is going to be about sovereign citizens traveling, which I'm super excited about. And that one's not going to be as in depth as this one was. The music video is going to probably be a little less all over the place with different locations. But after that, I don't know. If we get a topic that people are really, really excited about, I'll make a music video about it. I'll make a little musical number. 100%. Texas Deputy, OSI. OSI is Air Force. NCIS is Navy. CGIS is Coast Guard. CID is Army. USMC CID is Marines, I believe. Those are the federal law enforcement agencies. They're basically the military equivalent of FBI for those respective branches. Now, OSI has a lot of civilians, but I believe there are still airmen involved. NCIS is a civilian agency. They used to be naval whatever, but they broke off so they could focus more on their law enforcement duties than their naval duties. CGIS I know very little about. CID I know very much about. And I know that they've been talking about becoming a civilian agency for ages, but no one's actually done it. But that's because being an agent is a ton of work, ton of paperwork, long nights to the office, dealing with rapes and murders and and aggravated sexual assaults and all sorts of nonsense. Oh, their cases. I don't envy them. I've helped with a few. I don't envy them at all. It's difficult to do all that and all of the stuff you have to do for the Army, right? You have to get your paperwork up to date all the time. You have to do all these different tasks. You have to, qualify with a firearm every month or so. I don't know, maybe not every month, but every so often. And it gets in the way of your duties as a federal agent to a degree. And so there's been a lot of talk like, why don't we just become a civilian agency? We got paid better, but they haven't done it yet. And they've been talking about that since at least 2013. So, yes, not all of them are civilian, but a lot of them contain civilians, for sure. If you, I'll talk about Anne-Rule all day. Dreamer, sergeantbluebacon@gmail.com. Hit me up. And I don't check my email nearly as much as I should be this last week. Nasty Nathaniel has been like, we should talk about this thing. I'm like, yes, we should. But I don't have time. Since 9/11, isn't there new laws and stuff against filming in government facilities and such? Not really. The laws are basically the same. They have been clarified. 2009-ish, 2010-ish, there was the Department of Homeland Security memo that was reissued later. Basically, they tried to stop. The government's like, no, you can't film these government buildings. And then, or someone made an arrest for filming government building, and then the government's like, no, they're fine. The courts made the Department of Homeland Security issue a memo saying, like, don't arrest people if they're on the sidewalk filming. I don't know of any very obvious laws that were created after 9/11. Obviously, it's easier for police to justify their concerns and make a detention. But I don't know. Ever use rigid handcuffs? You mean the hinge cuffs? Oh, I love the hinge cuffs. We are not allowed to use them. I knew people who had them, but then policies were implemented like, no, we can't use them because there's, I don't know, the reason was the potential to injure someone's hand was greater because they're less flexible. If someone falls, I guess, it can really wrench their wrist. I don't know the exact details. I think that's what was explained to me by someone who may or may not have known what they were talking about. No, the hinge cuffs are great. Not every agency can use them. Ours, we were never authorized to use them. But, well, we were, and then they said, no. We're going to say no. Oh, send me that taser video. One of these days, I'm going to show you guys my OC video. Someone had my taser video. I doubt they still have it. I'm going to get tased on this channel eventually at some point, I'm sure. I did carry a taser. I carried baton, an ASP, collapsible baton. ASP, OC spray, taser, firearm, handcuffs, handcuff key, flashlight, extra magazine, 2 extra magazines, 1 extra magazine, 2 extra magazines, and rifle magazine. I didn't carry the rifle on me. I kept that in my vehicle, locked in. And then, of course, the vest with the stab plate. This was when I was on patrol, by the way. When I was an investigator, I only carried a firearm. I wasn't a first responder. I respond after the scene had been secured. Sometimes I help secure a scene, but I usually got yelled at for that because I didn't have all the tools to protect myself as easily. I still like doing it, though. So yeah, you have all this gear, and we still have to be able to outrun people. It's crazy. Fixed bar handcuff. Not hinge handcuffs. Fixed bar handcuffs. The one with the solid piece. No, I've never used those. You got shot with a beanbag? Oh. I've gotten shot with the sim rounds, the chalk rounds. Never with a beanbag. I hear they're a lot worse. I'm thinking about doing that on the channel as well. I'm looking into getting myself a Smith & Wesson Governor, I think. It's a revolver that can shoot 410 shotgun rounds, and you can buy beanbag rounds for it. So, back to metal bar that attaches the 2 tufts together. What? I do not know about this. I'm thinking of completely. I'm like, oh yeah, this handcuff, that handcuff. I'm thinking of different types of handcuffs. Cool one, rigid handcuffs. That sounds exciting. Rigid handcuffs. Where is my mouse? Rigid handcuffs. There we go. Get out of the way real quick. All right. I am familiar with these. See, I was thinking of hinge cuffs, but no, these are... Oh. Oh. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, these are what I was thinking of. Yeah, I just saw. I might have made Antifa or Antifa, depending on how you want to pronounce it. I might have made them mad. I follow some of them on Facebook, some of their little groups, because I want to get footage of one of their protests. So I try to keep not in touch, but monitor their shenanigans. And one of them put out a video like, here's how to break out of handcuffs when you handcuff in the front. It's like, you don't generally, like, you very rarely get handcuffed in the front. And he's like, you got to rotate it and you lock it and you break it. And it took this guy like 10 minutes. Like, they're going to notice you doing that, dude, first of all. Second, if you manage to break out of handcuffs, then what? You can get leg shackles. Can you break out of those? You can get hogtied. You break out of that. Like, that's a terrible idea. Don't tell people how to do this. Right? If you're being lawfully, tell people how to know whether or not you've been lawfully arrested and how to file suits against the government if you haven't been lawfully arrested. Don't teach them how to break more laws. You stupid people. But yeah, this one makes sense in the front because it doesn't have those limitations where you can break the chain. I guess. Oh yeah. So it's like that. I have seen this. Yes, I'm familiar with that. I haven't seen these out in the wild in a good long time. Uh-oh. That's not police. Mm-mm. You carry nunchucks. You could not carry. Well, no, I doubt it. You'd have to justify it in court, and it'd be very, very difficult. Very difficult to explain why that was what you used. And it would really come down to, I'm sure the argument would be you can't control them, right? With the asp, I'm only supposed to hit the fleshy parts of the body. If I hit the head, I can get an incredible amount of trouble. Unless, of course, they duck into it, which I have to be able to justify. I don't aim for the head. I aim for the arms and the legs. I've never had to use it, but my training was aim for the arms and legs. I actually have a video of me training where I get knocked unconscious. We'll be watching that one as well. But it's a pain compliance tool. I'm not trying to break any skull. I'm not trying to break any bones. I want your arms here. I want your thighs. Maybe your side. Maybe if it's like a real bad situation. But I'm trying to get you compliant through pain. It's called pain compliance, and it's justified in certain situations. And nunchucks, I feel like the argument can be made, you don't have as much control over them. Unless you're like, I'm a black belt. I've been training for 20 years. At which point, maybe? I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. I'm saying the odds are incredibly slim. Oh, Patty Mayo. Patty Mayo. Patty Mayo makes me want to shake him. Let me see. What are we seeing? What if deadly force is authorized because it does not hurt as bad when you hit flesh? No, because the pain is temporary. He's a fake bounty hunter. He's not actually real. That'd be Patty Mayo. It's not a real bounty hunter. Very entertaining though. But anyway, all right. Last chance for questions. Oh, is he real now? Oh, good. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here, folks. Watch you guys sneak something in here real quick. Let me see. Joop. Poof. All right, anyway. You guys have been great. Had a lot of fun talking about this. I'm glad you liked the video. If you've been watching the stream this entire time for 2 hours, and you haven't watched the music video or the musical, probably should have watched that one first. But welcome to the stream. If you lasted this long, you're the best. And until the next time, as per usual, be good and stay safe.